Hey everybody, it's Sleepy Reader, of course. I wish this was my 4th anniversary video, 4th anniversary here on YouTube, but I missed my anniversary. I knew when it was this past Thursday, April 28th, I believe, and I was sure I had time to make a video then, and then things happened and I did not have time to make a video. So, I don't know why I'm very sentimental about these anniversaries of how long I've been on YouTube. So anyway, I just wanted to mention it anyway. And, you know, more important than my anniversary, one of our friends, Mercy's little show, just had a new baby, Sadie. So that is really exciting. If you follow her on Twitter, you've seen pictures of the baby, and yeah, you should follow her on Twitter. So, but kind of in the mood of celebratory of being on YouTube for 4 years, doing this series of vlogs and other whatnot stuff, and it's really turned out well for me. It's you know, few things in life happen just the way you want them to, and this has pretty much happened just the way I wanted it to, with some bumps in the road along the way, but lots of friends, some that feel, you know, some friends that have kind of come and gone, and some that will last a long time, and that used to kind of bother me, but that's life. That bothers me about life too, but that's just the way things are. But speaking of friends, I've gotten a number of gifts in the past couple of weeks. Most recently, New Gods #1, which was one of the few Jack Kirby DC comics that I don't have yet. I've been slowly collecting and or recollecting from that period, which is one of my favorites. This was from ETA Nick 1, and it's from his collection. He had a little piece of paper in the back that said New Gods, copy D 7.5. And I had asked him if about the possibility of getting one of his mid-grade copies, because he has a lot of copies. And to me, this is in fantastic shape. I love thumbing through it and how clear it is to read everything in it. I feel transported back to that time and to the thrill of picking up a new Jack Kirby comic. He also has stamped on the back from the collection of, and then his real name, but I don't want to show that because I'm not sure if he wants his real name out on YouTube. I try to keep my own last name separate from all this. But I really love this. ETA Nick 1's a great guy, as you all know, and he does so many different kinds of videos. And he's such an interesting collector and has such strong, interesting views on, you know, how and why he collects, that it's just great to have him in this community, with or without getting a gift from him. But so many thanks, Nick. And then a little before that, I got a gift in the mail from JohnnyZero, who we only know from the comments. He comments a lot, does great comments, a very knowledgeable, obviously very nice guy. And I had forgotten that he asked me for his address, and he sent me this nice chunk of Vertigo epic type things, mostly from the 80s and 90s. Dr. 13 #1, which interestingly is art by Michael Avon Oeming, but you wouldn't recognize it. Oeming had a very different style back in September 98. So, but this looks like a real cool comic. It's very oversized. I'm not sure if it's a one-shot. I think it might be a one-shot. So, I'm really psyched for that. Then also extremely interesting, he sent me a short run, I think it might be volume 2 or volume 3, of Alien Legion, published by Epic. Kind of like the French Foreign Legion in outer space. And this was I believe it was a 4 or 5 issue run. That's very exciting to have. I remember reading Alien Legion early on. I don't know if they started at Epic or started at Eclipse, but I have no Alien Legion comics now, and I don't think I ever read this particular volume. So I'm very psyched for that. And then it gets even more interesting to me. He sent me this comic I never even heard of called The Last American. But it has art by this guy whose name is hard for me to say. Mike McMahon? Mike Mahone? I assume a British artist, maybe Scottish, I don't know. But he has this very distinctive style that I really like. And I remember him on a number of comics from the 80s, from Epic. And this is from Epic. So I was really psyched to get that. And that is 4 issues, I believe. No, yeah, 4 issues. There's issue 3. Got a little Ronald Reagan action going on. And issue 4. So I'm really looking forward to reading that. And then I'm even more psyched by the last series he sent me, which is issues 1 through 7 of a 7-issue Necro series of Nemesis the Warlock from Eagle Comics, which actually, I believe, if I understand correctly, is colored reprints of stuff from 2000 AD. Not sure what year these came out. I'm going to guess somewhere in the early 1984. Wow. And they just have the most incredibly wild covers, and the interiors are pretty close behind, pretty close to the wildness of the covers. So I'm really psyched for these. I think when I find time, these will be the first of this lot that I read. I've been hearing Comic Crack talking about them, and very jealous that I didn't have them, and now I have them, or some of them. I don't know if there's other series. This one's a Necro series, so I don't. A joke on a mini-series, of course. So just look at these crazy covers. I don't think anything in America, from the American imagination quite comes out this way. So it's interesting to see the kind of purely British imagination that I believe is on display in these kinds of comics. So there's that. And then, so that's all from Johnny Z, and JohnnyZero, and I really appreciate it. He didn't have to at all. Just out of the goodness of his heart, he thought I would like these, and he was totally right. And then I won a contest. I won second prize in RobWiseguy82. RobWiseguy82? It is 88, right? Anyway, it doesn't matter. Rob, awesome guy. I don't need to get prizes or win things, and Rob has already sent me a present before in the past. But I won second prize, and the second prize was that you get to pick anything from in-stock trades. But I thought, well, this is a contest, or maybe I kind of misunderstood the contest. I thought he would pick it for me. So in the end, I insisted he pick something for me. And what he picked was this incredible coffee table book, Batman cover to cover, which is just a beautiful object. And I really enjoy it. It's funny to me that he picked a Batman book to me. I mean, I do love it, and I love Batman. But Rob is always, on the cutting edge of all the unusual indie books. And so I had imagined he would send me some crazy, indie thing that goes way over the top in indie kookiness. But I love this, so I'm not complaining at all. So anyway, and I already have Superman cover to cover, so I might make a comparison someday. I do have a feeling that Superman covers were really great in the Golden Age and the Silver Age, and then they're less fun, and the Batman covers actually keep getting better and better and more interesting as we approach the modern age. Anyway, that's just a theory I seem to have developed in my head about that. While I'm at it showing off some stuff, although I've been way too busy to make videos lately, I do seem to keep accumulating things. I've done a little more eBay than I normally do, and I've kind of been trying to pursue old fanzines, and I haven't really found exactly what I want. I did get a really scruffy copy of The Buyer's Guide of Comic Fandom. I'm sure I had this one as a kid. I subscribed to this, through an ad in a Marvel comic, and it came out bi-weekly, and it's and I didn't really, it was just the only thing I had, as opposed to the internet now. And I wish I had ordered more things from it at the time. But I think as a kid, I mostly just, looked through it. And, but I would sometimes order fanzines through it. Strip zines and letter of comment zines. There was one I remember called Lock, LOC, letter of comment, and it was nothing but just letters of people writing back and forth, which is a lot like what we do now on YouTube. I haven't had much chance to look through this, and it was incomplete, so I made a beginner's mistake on eBay. I did not read the full description. I just went by the title and the picture, and I didn't realize this issue is missing 3 of its 5 sections, and I think I paid $15 plus postage for it, so not really the greatest call. I'm going to try getting some more of these, and I bought some other fanzines, but they were more like what I would call semi-pro zines, or ones about specific things, like about Karl Barks and stuff, not the more amateurish ones that I used to get as a kid, that were often like on the blue Mimea or the blue Ditto pages, and or on the Mimeo. And anyway, I guess that kind of stuff is hard to find because there were so few copies in the first place, and no one imagined they were of any value, probably, so no one was really saving them the way they were saving comics. But another thing I got, which, I'm a big into the Spirit, and I've been buying all kinds of different versions of them, but I never bought the original Spirit sections that came in newspapers from 1940 to 1954. And I finally have bought one. It wasn't really what I expected. It's from August 13th, 1944. I think it's just before Will Eisner actually comes back to the strips, so I think he comes back in 45, sometime in the middle of 45 maybe. So it's not very valuable because it's not actually by Will Eisner, even though it has his name on it. And this one I think I got for a very good price. I think it was like $5 or something. So it's one of the oldest things in my collection now. But I believe most Spirit sections had the Spirit and then someone named Lady Luck and then another strip. So they were maybe 10 or 12 pages long. But this one is just the Spirit and one-page strip, and maybe it was supposed to be cut up into a magazine, but it's just one newspaper page. So it was a little surprising to me. Can I finish up my video just 2 more minutes, Bugaloo? You're not on screen yet. You'll wait? Okay. Whoops, the computer is trying to turn itself off. Sorry about that, Bugaloo, and sorry for this unedited interruption. So it never occurred to me that it was just quarters of of a newspaper page is what the magazine was made of. It's much less glamorous than the later versions when it are actually in really nice magazines or the like. I'll probably try to buy another. I'll probably keep an eye out and see if I can get one that's actually by Will Eisner for a price I can afford. I think, to get a Will Eisner one, it might be $80 or more. I could afford that, but I don't really want to. But if I can find one, even a beat-up one, or I might get a few more of these ones that aren't Will Eisner. It's just a nice part of my Spirit collection. And at a shop recently, I got the brand new Mr. A, number 18. Although are there actually 18 issues of Mr. A out there to be purchased? I don't think so. But this is the most recent one that he funded through Kickstarter. I did not support this on Kickstarter. I've supported some other ones of his. But I was just struck how he's 88 years old. We're talking about Steve Ditko, I'm sorry. He's 88 years old, and the art is pretty darn hot stuff. I haven't actually read it. I've just been thumbing through it and appreciating the art. I will eventually read it, but Mr. A, in my past experience, is kind of such a one-note story that I don't feel in a rush, to find out what happens in this issue. But I do seem to love Ditko art more and more the older I get, the more I like Ditko art. It's still, everything still looks like it's done in the 1940s or 1950s, where the way people dress and just kind of the style of things. But I love it. And also at that shop, which if you're ever in Portland, you should visit the Cosmic Monkey Comics shop. It just has a lot of cool stuff. And they had these new Steve Rude Nexus comic imitations of Sunday comic sections on very nice paper, not at all like a comic, not at all like a newspaper. But these things are enormous, and generally you have to get a subscription from Steve Rude, but I had trouble understanding the so I got the first 2 copies, and I guess that's all that's come out, at least to the shops yet. I had trouble understanding exactly how the pricing works on his subscription online, so I was just really happy to see the physical copy and choose to buy it at a shop. There's not that much content here, so it's more about the amazing artifact of it. These cost me $10 a piece, and I think if I bought them online it would be $15 a piece. But the guy at this shop said that he was told that only like 9 or 10 shops in the entire country were carrying this, and he kind of laughed because I guess maybe they don't get any real profit out of carrying these things. That they may have, maybe they're just selling them, for a very small profit margin, if any. Similarly, this shop had a bunch of Copra, so I grabbed a whole bunch of issues of Copra, which is an interesting, very Ditko-influenced comic book. Let's see. I don't know. It's hard to see the Ditko influence there, but if I found the right pages. Anyway, so yeah, I really appreciated everybody who has stuck with me or joined me over the years, and added their positivity to my experience. People have, however long or whatever the contact is, different in every case. I realize in the broader perspective, that's just been really great for me. And I really appreciate it, and I hope I can give a good experience to everyone else who is in contact with me. I think maybe my greatest flaw is I talk to a lot of people about doing Hangouts, but I have a lot of trouble actually making it happen. And the people that you see me doing Hangouts with most frequently are the most persistent and the most available, because my schedule's not very good. So I do hope in the future to hang out with more people. I'm not a big fan of the big group hangout, so I prefer one-on-one or maybe 3 people total. But we'll see. I might try some bigger group hangouts at some point again. But I hope you're all well, and I hope to be back soon with videos. We will see. Talk to y'all later.